everybody's sitting down.
Yeah, I really do.
Ron, you better head her that way. She's starting to drift back.
Julie, I think that the time has come right now. You see what's up there? You see what's up there right now, Julie? What does it say? Hey, right, baby. And I want you tonight.
Oh, belly.
That's enough. Surprise! How you doing?
I'm okay.
Do you have a strong drink?
Yeah, I do. Mrs. Wright took care of it. As you might have expected. Oh, Bob!
Testing, can you hear me out here? I love that music, isn't it great? Someone, can you hear me? Turn the mic on. What did you say, Julie?
That's 1960.
That's 1960. And
Kenny
well,
wasn't even born yet.
that looks like that is about as good as it gets, too. How about this one on the left over here, on your left? Can you remember that? Take a look at this one, dear.
Yeah, that's World War II.
She thought I guess Julie thought she was going to go out to Tony's, right?
Yeah.
Antoine's on the board. And, I hope you feel comfortable. You don't look comfortable. Is this drink strong enough? I mean, we're going to get started here, Julie. Is it loaded? Okay, thanks, Mary Lynn. Julie, as you know, this is the ultimate surprise. The kind of a thing you dream about and hope never happens to you. Well, it's going to happen tonight. This is your life, Julie doing Fugate. I flew in from the coast. Ralph Edwards, and boy, my arm's tired, I want to tell you. But just to be here with you tonight, and when we put this together, we actually contacted Ralph Edwards Productions. They sent us a format, how we could do this. One thing that they stress is to make sure that you're in good physical condition, because apparently over the years they've lost a few of them. Very surprised by this. And they suggested that we actually go ahead and make sure the heart is strong of the guest. Is there a doctor in the house?
You bet!
We need someone up here to check this woman's heart. Well, look, they're lining up here. Oh my God, I've never seen such a turnout.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, I think we're going to have to start checking. We want to see some diplomas here, okay?
What a murmur. Yeah, check
Are you a doctor, sir?
Check his diploma.
No.
What was that, sir? He checks it all the time. Okay. Julie, I'm so happy to be here tonight. Any other doctors out there before we get started?
Jerry.
Yeah, Dr. Keith.
Everybody wants to know before we get started, did you have any idea? I mean, be honest.
No, I thought we were going to Tony's tonight.
Had no indication? Well,
What would I say?
okay, thank God we're taping this because you won't believe it. Tomorrow. Okay, our story, friends, begins in 1943. The world. That's right, 1943. That's right. The world is at war. The Allies invade Sicily. Why you put that in? Father was there. He didn't think it was so funny either. T-bone steak, friends, sells for 31 cents a pound. Remember that, Julie? Movie stars of the day: Errol Flynn, Ann Sheridan, Barbara Stanwyck, and James Cagney, the greats. For that year, as a matter of fact, another star was born. In Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Julia Catherine enters the world as the first child. of Phil and Leon Bowen. I can't tell if she's crying or laughing. Soon after, Julie, the war calls your father into the service. He leaves for duty overseas. You and your mom, you go to live with your grandparents, right, on their farm near, where was this?
Oh, it's
Sioux City, Iowa, that's right. Julie, it's a very special time filled with some fond memories. The word is that you were an instant hit with the boys. Although you might have forgotten, Julie, someone here tonight remembers.
Do you remember when the Hoops bought twins? One would hold you while the other one would give you a kiss?
No, I don't remember.
Come on out. Leon Bowen. Play the music again, will you, every time. Yeah, just make yourself comfortable. The amazing kissing twins from Galva, Iowa. You thought that was behind you, didn't you, Julie? See, moving right along is kind of that. Your father returned safely from Japan in 1946. Then the family moves to Davenport, Iowa, where Phil Bowen works for the Army Corps of Engineers. Two more children come along. Susan is born in 1947, and your brother Phil comes along in 1948. Pardon me?
It's my brother.
If I told you all the surprises, you'd leave, okay?
She's still mine.
In 1950, the Bowen family moves to Omaha. You enter Rose Hill Elementary School. There, Julie, you develop an interest in science. In fact, the Science Club. This Science Club, Julie, holds frequent meetings in your basement. Do you remember some of your experiments?
No.
Normally that would be a safe answer, but not tonight. Perhaps, Julie, maybe this voice can refresh your memory.
Julie, you remember the emergency meetings at the Science Club. I started Cubist on the meetings, and I think it must have been that you were having a project, ESP, because all you kids did was just sit there and look at each other.
That was pretty exciting, Julie. Come on out. Julie's dad, Mr. Phil Bowen.
Yes, I was surprised.
Bet she is, that's right. And your father didn't mention this, but I have a note here. Father Kerwin apparently called your mom and dad about pictures of the Science Club. I don't know what was on the pictures, but it caused a scandal in Omaha for quite a while.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to tell me?
Well, we were wearing our pajamas and the boys got a hold of the pictures that we took. And they made duplicates and circled in front. The nuns and the priests on the top.
Right.
It was a real race again.
Baby doll pajamas, okay. Julie, you not only have a knack for science, but you also develop an interest in finance. In the late 1950s, you set up the famous or infamous California Fund. You remember that, Julie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I built my brother and sister out of money.
Finally, after all these years, she can admit it. You collect nickels and dimes from your little brother and little sister. You promised to use the money for a trip to Disneyland.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened, is it, Julie? See if we have an accounting for the California Fund money.
Your friends probably don't remember that you were the female Eddie Haskell. An angel for the parents, but when you were left in charge, you became a tyrant. As soon as the parents would leave, bedtime for Sue and I was whenever the car had left the alley. Morning brought a very calm, almost hungover Julie, until we left for the bus, and then it became time to contribute our bus money to the California Fund, as she called it. Jimmy Hoffa took lessons. The money, I'm not sure where it went, probably for recreational drugs. But we have an account, and inflation's going to kill you when we finally collect, which is tonight.
Phil, come on out here and say hi to Julie.
Oh,
Phil Bone Jr. Julie, all the people that had memories of their experiences with you along the way wanted to be here in person, as a matter of fact. Some could not be. And as a matter of fact, your sister from the West Coast wanted to be here very much, but she couldn't. She sent a tape, and she also has something to say about that California Fund.
It's delightful, it's lovely, it's with you. Yes, we were wonderful writers of music on our family trips in the Green Buick. We also had complete faith that you would find us a way to get to California. I really did trust you. Why do we have to save our bus money for our California fund by walking to school on one of the coldest winter days I can remember? I love you dearly, Judge, and I'd walk through anywhere to have you out in California now. Have a wonderful Mrs. Your Life. I wish I could be there with you.
oh, that was good. She finally got out to California. I just believe she's been there for 13 years.
She's moved out there, that's right.
Without help from me.
You can say that again, Julie. The Bowen family fails to reach Disneyland that year or any other year. But there are lots of trips to Cherokee, Iowa, however. You go to visit your grandma, your aunts, uncles, and cousins. Julie, do you remember this?
You were walking down the swimming pool hill and I told you to hurry up and get to work. I mistook you for somebody else. I met you really by accident and we got in touch over the years.
Those summer days in Cherokee bring adventure and new friendships. One day you find yourself at the Cherokee Public Swimming Pool. And you guessed that person. Who did you think that was?
Jan Favorite.
Julie, how long has it been since you've seen Jan?
I guess I was a senior in high school.
That's right. 5 years ago when Julie was... Jan, can I ask you, what did you say to Julie, as a matter of fact, when you saw her that day?
I think I told her to hurry up and get to work. I was waiting for some help hosing down the pool.
In other words, you thought she was a co-worker? Now, our staff, our crack research staff, has told us about something else, Jan.
No wonder. Oh.
Was there something, all I have here on the notes is something about the pie crust story. Do you remember anything about that?
Yes, my mother made a delicious pie crust, and Julie used to love to eat dinner with us. And this one particular night, she was eating pie, and as she finished scraping the crust into the garbage, she's saying, "Gee, Mrs. Faber, you make the best pie crust in the whole world." All over the garbage.
Eating chocolate pie, okay. You'll have time to see Jan later on in the festivities. It's going to be a long night, Julie, let me tell you. Have we got some surprises so far, or what, huh? This is no bozo outfit here, Julie. We came in from all over the country. Jan, by the way, flew all the way in from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Nice to have you here, Jan. Julie, back to your life here. Food. Food becomes the focus of your life. You're now a pupil at Marion High School in Omaha, Nebraska. Your friends there remember you better for what you ate than for what you did. Mary Hallis Timmons tells us about a special sandwich that becomes a Friday lunch specialty. Sardines and peanut butter. Oh, no. Mary is on vacation, could not be here tonight, but she sends her regards. I think, do we have a tape back there? Turn me on there, would you guys? It's not funny anymore, guys. Okay. Okay, the heck with Mary Hallis. She couldn't take the trouble to show up, we don't care. The convent school, Julie, teaches you to respect and appreciate life's niceties. You become repulsed by the ill manners of others. Maureen Millick-Bosch recalls, either live or on tape, how Julie complained of her brother's poor table manners as she devours a large piece of pizza.
Hey, Ralph,
Sorry about
we
that.
erased the tape, unfortunately, and we don't have it tonight. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, you expect me to remember how she complained?
That's a surprise for you, Ralph.
Okay. How we doing so far, Julie? She's real impressed. I don't blame you. Okay. Properly prepared for the rigors of higher education, enter the University of Omaha, Nebraska, which is more popularly known as UNO. UNO. There you begin studies toward a career in nursing. You earn a degree in nursing from the University of Nebraska. You also, Julie, develop a strong interest in chemistry. More specifically, alcohol. You set up a private lab in your dorm.
This is Mary Lynn Wright.
I think your mom and dad don't know about it this one here. A private lab, Julie, in your dorm. You ask friends to bring you chemicals for Friday night experiments. Do you remember this night? Mary Lynn Wright, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, this is rather embarrassing, and you may as well know this is how I had to go into the dorm. You see, I pulled this out of the attic today, dust on it and everything. The little jammies had to be clear out here, and there's a reason for this. I mean, this is most embarrassing, but she called for these supplies. Julie, I apologize. I mean, you know, what can I say? She wanted things like this. She wanted things like this.
Oh, no.
She even requested methanol. This is very embarrassing. Then we had to have I had to bring all this in past lots together in my little train case. She wanted oranges. She wanted lemons, and I'm sorry that I forgot the cherries tonight. Hardly any room for the little jammies. The only good thing I can say is she has graduated to better brands. I am proud.
Ralph, you're getting up in age, and we know that you have to have your heart medicine every once in a while, and I thought I'd bring some out.
Oh, thank you, Ron.
A little heart medicine for Ralph!
Holy shit, okay. Soon, friends, chemical supplies dry up. Your lab moves from the dorm into the bars of Omaha. One night, you discover a new property of alcohol. It's called anesthesia. The witness to that discovery is here to tell about it.
Up until tonight, Julie's mother did not know about the time I led her precious daughter down the hall of the dorm, laid her on her bed, and peeled her girdle off her body.
I'm going to kill you. No, you are dead. I don't remember that. She does. was bad. It was her fault. Yeah.
I was sober and
Julie, it's 1965. You and Diana live in Omaha. Both of you find jobs at Research Medical Center. As staff nurses, you work the same shifts, and you share an apartment. Shortly thereafter, a big moment in your life, Julie, as a young adult, you receive your first obscene phone call. Do you remember this voice?
Well, hello, little girl. Little Julie. A real little jewel of a little girl. Maybe a little ruby or opal, perhaps. Well, Julie, I've been in your shadow since you were a little student nurse in Nebraska. Perhaps, do you remember your first obscene phone call? Well, that was me. Well, then you moved to Kansas City and I followed. Yeah. My pockets were full of quarters. Yes, little jewel. I even married one of your friends. One who keeps an updated address book, so I'd always have your phone number. So, little jewel, do you still give good phone?
Julie, I don't know.
I remember when I met Julie back in 1965, my alcohol consumption increased dramatically. Cheap wine, rum and coke, primitive margaritas. It was the effect of all that cheap booze that caused my head to snap backwards in slumber during an orientation class at Research Hospital. I awoke to the sounds of Julie's laughter as the instructors called on me to demonstrate a colostomy dressing technique I just slept through. I'm still planning to get even, Julie. Do you remember walking into a patient's room, finding a little old lady post-operatively lying in bed with an eye guard over her eye after cataract surgery? And your professional comment was, what did she do? Fart and blow her eye out?
I can't believe she said, did you really say that?
Yes. She did. Yes. She's like Diane.
I've said a lot of things, Julie. I don't believe I've said that, though.
You have on occasion.
That's right. You hold that thought till it's my turn to sit there, okay? Yes, Julie, that was Frank and Ginny Smarto from Dallas, Texas. She really did say that, I guess so. Frank come to know you as Miss Party. The Castaways Lounge becomes a favorite haunt of yours. You make a big impression on one of the boys in the band. Do you remember this mystery musician?
Hi, Julie. Do you remember me? You were there about every night.
What? Certainly not.
fancy.
You don't need to get too fancy.
Oh, I can't believe it. Where's Lois?
Lois said she sent her congratulations.
Okay.
She's in Illinois with her mother. Wish she could be here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
The picture's starting to unfold a little more clearly here. Julie, soon and finally, thank goodness, order comes into your life. You're working the evening shift at the hospital. One of your patients is recovering from surgery. His friend comes to visit, and there you're introduced. Several days later, the friend returns. He learns from your patient that you are interested in him. Your patient happens to have your telephone number. I don't know how he got that, Julie, but anyway, he gives it to his friend. The rest is history. Come on up here, Mr. Julie Fugate, Ron Fugate.
Medicine first. Okay, Ralph's going to have some medicine. I'm going to tell you about how I met this wonderful woman. In 1965, when my friend was ill and I went out to visit my sick friend and she was caring for him, I went back to visit him a few days later and she says, he tells me that, he says, there's this, you remember the blonde, she was blonde at that time. Remember the tall blonde nurse? And I said, yes, sir, I do. And he says, she's interested in you. As a matter of fact, I've got her telephone number right here. She gave it to me. And so...
He's told this for 16
Well, I'm going to tell it now. The 16th anniversary at our wedding. Hey, the rest is history. It doesn't make any difference, does it? No, not really, does it, Jules? Anyway, we got together, you know, courtship led to an engagement, but there was this thing about a ring, wasn't there, Jules?
Yeah, there was.
You remember what happened when you came down to Columbia, Missouri?
Somebody ran into your car, and with the money that you got for fixing your car, you bought my ring.
You weren't supposed to tell that when ring breath. No, I think we need to tell another story tonight. It is a story of when we went out to look for rings, right?
Oh.
In all your haste to join me in Columbia, you had forgotten your casual shoes, is that correct?
Yeah, I
And
did.
you brought only your nurse's shoes and a pair of dress-up shoes for Sunday Mass.
Right. Go ahead.
I'm sorry about breaking your nose.
That's right.
What happened, Jules? Do you recall?
You lent me your basketball shoes to wear out to look for rings.
That's true, Jules. You put on my sneakers.
I'm so gracious about it.
And what did I say when you put on your sneakers?
You said if I didn't look down and look at them, that nobody else would look at them, but that wasn't true.
That wasn't true because they were going flippity-flop, weren't they?
Yeah, they had those big round toes on them.
And the high heels, too.
Oh, yeah, they were those ones.
They came all the way up to your thigh.
Yeah, they did.
And then what happened?
Then we went out and looked for rings.
And we went to Mr. Lamb's jewelry store.
Yes.
And we walked in with your sneakers on.
Yeah.
And what did Mr. Lamb say?
He was looking down at the rings in the case as we were looking down from the other side. And he looked over and he said, perhaps you'd like to look at something more inexpensive.
I took that as a personal affront, didn't I?
I was humiliated.
Where did I buy your ring?
You bought it at Buckroaders. You didn't buy it.
That's
from
right.
Mr. Lamb.
And it was only because some drunk kid had run into the back of my 55 Buick. And I was able to collect on the insurance.
That's right.
And
And there you have it, folks, right here. Fugate success. Thank you, Ralph. Okay, Ralph. Keep it close at hand. We're having fun now, aren't we, Julie?
Oh, I'm having a real good time.
This is a big night for Julie, okay. Thank you once again, Mr. Julie Fugate. Put your hands together for Ron there. Thank you very much, Ron. You know, we'll get to this a little later, but Ron has really put in a lot of work for this occasion, and he must have a lot of guilt. That's the only thing I know. Worked this hard for his wife. Nice job. What did he do? Okay. Julie, now to the lovely wedding day, September 2, 1967, the day you and Ron are married. Your friend, Neil Roach, volunteers to take movies. He arrives in Omaha the day before your wedding. He's also experimenting with a chemical called Johnny Walker. His research continues into the late evening hours. On your wedding day, Neil discovers another property of the chemical. It's called the DTs. As a result, your movies win an Academy Award for the best cinematography during an earthquake. Neil sends his regards and apologies. I think we've got a tape from Neil here.
I guess that enough time has elapsed that I can finally apologize for my somewhat less than sober behavior at your and Ron's wedding. In my defense, I can only say that amidst all of the celebration for your nuptials, someone had to mourn the end of the all-too-abbreviated career of what could have been one of Kansas City's greatest bachelors. I guess I can forgive you for taking poor Ron before his time. And in fact, I've got to admit that he clearly hasn't suffered too much in his association with you. So happy birthday, Julie, and know that even though I'm not here in person, that somewhere I'm raising my glass to toast you on this happy occasion.
Oh, God, Neil. Neil's on the door. As the
Am I?
church would open,
Okay.
he was sitting on the door.
Neil's a happy guy, wherever he is.
Yeah, he is.
After your wedding day, be back on, would you? Thank you. Get a little ticked at this guy, you know. You and Ron moved to Columbia, Missouri. Lynn G. works with you at the Student Health Services. Her husband, Roger, is one of Ron's classmates. Together you share many common interests, as Ron, Roger, and Lynn recall on this tape.
Yeah, from San Diego. He's right back behind me. Oh, my. I don't think I
Do you remember our volleyball and pizza nights?
Do you remember our yellow T-bird that drank oil?
We know you remember your bathtub wine experiments in Columbia because we reminded you of them last summer.
Hi, Jules. This is Raj.
And Lynn,
Wishing we could change that Amtrak trip to a ride today.
and come from behind a curtain to greet you.
When we saw you last summer, after so many years,
It was like we had never lived farther away than next door.
or been out of your sight for more than a day,
Happy first anniversary of your 39th birthday.
you had stopped counting, haven't you?
Oh, that was nice. They were fun people.
You remember those people?
Oh, they were fun.
How long has it been since you've seen the G's anyway?
Well, they came through and stopped by last year, but before that, we hadn't seen them in 13, 14 years. So,
When you saw them after all that time, did you say G or?
yeah, we had.
Something wonderful happened then, Julie. Ron finished school, and to everyone's surprise, he got a real job with Southwestern Power. You live in Topeka, Kansas for a short while. And you also become friends with the wife of a telephone company attorney. One day, you invite her to lunch. You have just sprayed the duplex for bugs. You also spray your friend's dish. After 14 years of silence, you are about to find out what you did to your poor friend.
Julie gave me a wonderful cup of coffee covered with a shiny film. I took one sip and thought, this isn't like Julie's other coffee. The room started spinning, and I said, Julie, I don't feel too good, and kind of fell over on her new carpet and threw up all over everything. I've never told Julie about this coffee, and she's never bothered me about throwing up on her carpet.
Most of it, come on out and say hi to Julie. Thanks, Lois. Obviously, you're a very good sport in life. Soon after this time, with the coffee and the bug spray, Julie, little Aaron Fugate is born. You choose Chuck and Jan Wallace to be your godparents. Chuck carpooled with Ron and another friend, Tom Brunner. What was his nickname?
Tuck.
Tuck Brunner, that's right. Chuck recalls what those days were like.
Tuck, not Chuck.
Tuck.
Tuck means the swimmer. Oh, it's Tuck. Chuck is Tuck.
The year was 1971. Archie Bunker was a brand new personality on television. You ask why I should remember Archie? The reason I remember him is because your husband and a stout-hearted candidate named Tom Brunner and myself carpooled to work. And one morning it took Ron 40 minutes to recreate one 30-minute show. And he left out the commercials. His mouth was always going non-stop by the time he arrived at my house in the morning. Julie, if your inner ear hasn't turned to silly putty by now, you deserve at least one full chapter in the book, Survival of the Fittest. It's been a while since we've seen you, but I bet you look very attractive in your thick bifocals and orthopedic shoes. Seriously, don't be concerned about turning 40. I've done it twice, and it doesn't hurt a bit. I started counting backwards at 45. Now I'm 38, 1 year younger than Jack Benny. I'm sure glad that your cheapskate husband has finally decided to give you a birthday party. Now, from the entire Wallace family, happy birthday, Julie!
Oh, that's nice. That's Aaron's godparents from St. Louis. Cheapskate.
Cheapskate husband, that's right.
Oh, I am exhausted.
What'd you say, Jules?
I'm exhausted.
We'll try and go a little slower for you here.
Yeah, I'm elderly.
That was Chuck Wallace, as you know. Chuck mounted a campaign to get your motor-mouthed husband out of St. Louis.
Yeah, it worked too. He succeeded.
That's my next line here, Eddie.
Oh.
I hate this job, Ron. I want you to know. It works. And you end up going back to Topeka. You end up in a great neighborhood and become friends with some very super people. There are block parties, cocktail hours in the front yard, and many trips to the neighborhood liquor store. What'd you say?
I said, oh, yes.
That's right, okay. In 1974, your second child is born. Like his father, Nick also becomes a motor mouth. If anybody knows Nick, that's exactly right.
Hereditary.
It certainly is.
Congenital.
Pardon me?
It's congenital.
Right. But neighbors remember you best for your grace and agility.
Oh.
Do you recall this story?
Well, there were a couple, but...
Julie, do you remember sitting down next to my husband on a glider and having the whole thing collapse?
That's Kathy Jensen.
Come on out here, Kathy. And Don Jensen from Topeka, Kansas. Yeah! she broke a glider. How do you do that?
That's just one.
Want to drop it? Okay. We'll drop it. That's all right.
You know that. That's only one of the many stories with the gym.
You can say that again. That's
Yeah.
right. How about the hot tub? We'll tell that one later. Okay? It's an icy day in February. Close your eyes and remember this one. It's an icy day in February. You walk out onto your porch in Topeka, and something unusual happens. Do you remember what that was? You do?
Uh-huh.
Well, there's someone else here, Julie, who also remembers what happens that night.
Remember the morning of February 2nd, 1977? You slept on the ice in front of your home at 30:30, severely spraining your shoulder, which required your arm to sling for over a month.
Yeah.
Come on around here and say hi.
Also, Julie, remember the good food and good times we had on Clark Court?
That's Irene. That's right, Julie, Irene, and Floyd. Kinder, come on out and say hi to Julie, folks. Yes, sir. Folks, make yourself comfortable there.
Oh, my.
It's too much, and that's what that reminded me what actually happened with that story. Julie slipped on the porch that night. They had to take her to the emergency room, and the surgeon kept giving her Valium, and then he gave her some more Valium. He had to give her some more Valium to get her to kind of calm down there. I guess it ended up being about 150 milligrams.
No.
When it got to me, Julie, it was 150 milligrams. And the surgeon told her right there in front of God and everybody, I hope I never have to go drinking with a woman like you.
He did, but it wasn't that much.
Pardon me?
He did say that, but it was only 30 That's a lot.
I told you, you don't have to get defensive. We're all good friends here, Julie. Are you folks starting to get a thread to see this woman's life?
My reputation is shot.
Julie, you become the social butterfly of Topeka, Kansas. Friends flock to your doorstep, eager to be wined, dined, and entertained. One of your greatest fans recalls his visits to the Fugate mansion.
My memories of Julie Bowen Fugate extend all the way back to 1975 and 76 when I had the fortune to be guest in her home for dinner. And Julie would, of course, go to great lengths to provide you with a culinary dining experience. I remember on any number of occasions she would take a pickle and wrap it in some dried corned beef. About her ethnic heritage, but the highlight of the evening was when Fugate would pass out on the couch after too many see-throughs, and we'd sit and watch the dog lick itself. Tested herself with a hyperactive fellow. Might have amounted to something in life. Well, Julie, I'd be with you tonight, except that I'm lost in the frozen food section at Bob's IGA trying to find Old Pike Country Club. So I had this sent out by cab. I hope you're having a good time. And in all seriousness, I want you to know that Martha and I miss you, and we love you a lot, and wish you the best on your 40th birthday. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't think that was sincere enough. Okay. We love you and miss you, and we hope you're enjoying your 40th celebration. Still don't think it's sincere enough? He's a 40-year-old bag anyway.
initials to that guy.
I did. Oh, you know who that was, don't you?
It was Ross the Marquardt, that's
Yes.
right. Julie, next, you spread your wings and finally go international. South of the border, your travel takes you to Old Mexico. And there you show what American diplomacy is all about. Listen carefully, friends, as we play a tape to recall those days south of the border.
I know what this is going to be about the bullfight.
It's worse than that, Julie.
Julie, remember our Mexican holiday in 1973? Looking back, we really realize how wonderful it is to travel to a foreign and filthy country with someone like you.
Filthy country.
Your medical training helped us immeasurably.
Those sphincter exercises saved us embarrassment and untold dry cleaning expense.
Your compassion, too, for the impoverished shined in that cynical land. It took you at least 3 days to berate a beggar. My favorite Julie line came the 5th day, when you said quietly to the emaciated Indian begging on the agriculture feet,
I don't need any puka beads just now, so buzz off, taco breath.
the love of children could not be repressed. Yes, it was our Julie who didn't say a word of reproach when the little boy at the bull ring defecated by her seats. Amazing destiny.
No, Julie didn't even wrinkle up her nose as she spit on the lad.
Or the quiet assertiveness of the sophisticated traveler Julie displayed. While the rest of us seethed in the Mexico City eatery, Julie didn't give in to such unproductive behavior.
When she tripped the waiter, she said very matter-of-factly, "I'm American, I'm rich, and I want to drink now."
His fascination with short evidence, as in Tosco, for example, when she inquired of a mother of 10 children.
How much for the 8-year-old?
Julie, what memories. Even now, 10 years later, our thoughts return to you with every loose bowel movement.
Here's a model than you, kid.
Oh, that was terrible.
Starting to get good, isn't it? How much for the 8-year-old?
They went to Mexico. They went to Mexico with us.
Most people joined you on your trip to south of the border.
Yes, oh, they were fun. Oh, that was fun. That's Art and Neil Hoffman from St. Louis.
The Hoffmans from St. Louis, okay.
If you ever want
I'm
anybody
American,
to
I'm rich, I want to drink
travel
now.
with them.
Julie, next in your traveling about the country, you moved back to Kansas City in 1977. Your husband Ron takes a job in hospital PR.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Don't be coy with us, Julie. Yeah, there was your husband back there. I asked him to give you some liquids.
I need some tonic water.
You'll be okay. Just drink it, okay? You join a dinner club composed of Ron's co-workers. When it's your turn to entertain, you treat your guests to a special after-dinner attraction.
Julie, do you remember the North Kansas City Memorial Hospital Gourmet Club and Marching Band?
Yes.
Yes, your idea of entertainment that night was to lock us all out of the house and throw water on us as we tried to get back in.
Oh.
By the way, you still have that obnoxious dog with a terrible overbite?
Filling low small here.
Vector with Collier. Take care of Collier back there. Oh.
Julie, few people understand you But there is one who shares something common with you. And away from her now.
Don't you remember the night, Jules, when we discovered, it was truly a spiritual experience I shall never forget, that we were both sisters, Alpha Xi Deltas. And how proudly we bore our quills upon our breasts to the next opportunity, the next party, and sang, say, look and see, there's an Alpha Xi. Don't you remember? It was so wonderful.
It was.
Here from the Alpha Z's is Helen Hansen. Come on out, Helen. Dr. Bob. Did he check your heart again? It's okay. Get that already. Okay. Julie, you quickly become the official ambassador of Northwest 41st Street. Remember how you welcomed new neighbors to the block?
What did I do? Julie, do you remember how impressed I was when I moved to the Midwest? All the people were so pleasant to me.
Oh, I did it.
Brought me cakes, homemade pies, cookies, whatever. You were the first person to welcome me into the neighborhood with a six-pack of beer that we drank ourselves.
That's Paula done.
Come on out here, Paula and Dunn. All right.
Rita. Oh, it was Rita in the back seat. It was waving. Oh,
How you doing, Julie?
I guess okay.
You all right? You want to take a break here?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I just can't believe all these people here.
That's no shit. Here comes
Well said. You're a man of wonderful work.
Good times are your lifeblood, Julie, and some of the best times are at Thanksgiving. It's 1969. You're in Kansas City for the holidays. You and Ron join your brother-in-law, Jerry, and your sister-in-law, Mary. You visit a popular watering hole. There you are introduced to Rusty Nails.
Oh, it was my brother-in-law's fault.
Your brother-in-law is named Rusty Nails? Later, you find yourself crawling upstairs.
Yeah.
At your mother and father-in-law's house. Later that evening, you discover another property of alcohol. It's called losing your cookies. On Thanksgiving Day, the family celebrates with turkey and all the trimmings. But not you, Julie. No, no, no. Do you remember what you had?
Julie, do you remember you missed the turkey, but you had a lot of Dramamine?
It didn't do very much good either.
Anyway, Julie, tonight you are a celebrity.
That's right. You're a celebrity now. Come on out here, Mr. and Mrs. Fugate, Julie's in-laws. All the way from Arkansas, right, Brian? And they still love her, friends. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that great? That's what it's all about. What'd you say, Julie?
It's amazing.
Truly amazing. It's a miracle. Okay. Thank goodness, Julie, you give up Rusty Nails, but not Thanksgiving with your in-laws. Celebrations grow more intense over the years. World supplies of vodka and gin dwindle.
Julie, I'm going to ask you one question. Which total is higher, the empty number of bottles of Stoli and Beefeaters, or the number of dishes we washed on Madison?
Oh, Mary.
Come on out here, Mary. Say hi to Julie. Mary Fugate. I think we've blown her mind.
People together. There's more people here since my wedding.
In 1978, Julie, come with me to 1978. You return to your nursing career at KU MedSec. You begin to work on your master's degree. Your life grows a little more hectic. You're a student, a wife, a mother, a housekeeper, a chauffeur, and a cook. Yet you still find time for social activities, Jules. You attend parties for your friends, and you set the fashion world on fire.
No. Julie comes to my party in a wool skirt, cowboy boots, her first communion veil, and a fake fur coat.
Come on out here, Fran Drummond. There, she's got pictures, friends.
I'll pass it around.
We'll pass this around.
It's unbelievable, folks.
That's rude. Wait till you see this kid up here. You're not going to believe it.
And she didn't know everybody there either. Oh.
Is she drinking? You're dressed a little demurely this evening after that. I'll tell you.
That was to surprise her for her birthday. We all dressed up.
Sure, Julie. Okay. Once is not enough, is it? You return to another neighborhood party, this time as a November bride. Let's hear about that one.
Julie will always remember the beautiful bride you made. You veiled in antique lace, the first communion veil again. The rush of blood flowing to your cheeks, and the look of disappointment on your face when you realized the biggest part of your husband's anatomy was his fangs.
Come on out here. This is true. Jane True, ladies and gentlemen. Say hi over here, Jane. Come on over here and squeeze the... You're having fun now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun.
The Junior League. The Junior League has to cancel your membership for gross violations of the dress code. You decide to wear your...
What's the matter, Camilla? What's the matter?
You decide to wear your nurse's uniform all the time. Besides, it's easier to coordinate basic white. You discover that some people find your uniform attractive, almost erotic.
Oh, I'm not even going to look.
I'd call you and you'd be wearing white hose, white cap. You would even have an enema dangling from your waist. But I feel good knowing that our chats on the phone inspired you to write that paper in graduate school called The Creative Enema. I can't go on, I'm getting too interested.
Come on out here, Steve Freed, and I don't want you to go on either, okay? Say hi to Julie. I can see you brought joy into many people's lives. Other perverted men enter your life, Julie. Remember the visitor at your 39th birthday party? He joined you again this evening for a sneak preview of his new movie, Behind the Green Trench Coat. The former president of your science club, Shorty Neville. Come on out here, Shorty.
Julie?
Yeah.
Remember 1 year ago when a visitor came into your life?
Yeah.
The unfortunate result of the whole thing was that you came to realize the shortcomings of your husband.
Don't do it. No, no, there we go. He's a swinging guy. Take him out, Shorty. Shorty Neville, okay. This is a big night for you, Julie. Friends, there you have it. life and times of Julie Bowen Fugate. It's incredible, invigorating, and certainly intoxicating. On behalf of This Is Your Life, we have a special gift certificate for you, Julie. We took up a collection and got something that you could really use. Presenting your gift is Jim True, Medical Director of the Drug and Alcohol Detoxification Unit at North Kansas City. No kidding, he really is. Come on up here, Jim.
Hey, Jim!
I'll give this to you. You can read the certificate.
Thank you, Jim. It says, present the enclosed card to any bartender for your free birthday drink. Child, sir, may I have a may I please have a glass of water? And this is the certificate for a 3-week stay in the DRU. Embarrassing, no way out of paying except financially.
She didn't get the part about the free public examination.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr.
Julie, you know, off the script here, a lot of people wanted to be here with you tonight because they love you very much. Good luck to you. You're a wonderful person. Happy birthday. Let's give this woman a standing O. What do you say?
Can you give me some music now? Hey, there are a couple of other ladies here in the audience tonight that we'd like to come up and join us. Patty Jennings and Patty French. Could you come up now, please? Please. Let's hear it now for Patty French on my left. Can we hear it? Patty Jennings, come over here on my right, please. I want you to know that this lady on my left spent all day with my wife from 11 o'clock till 5 o'clock drinking double martinis. It was actually 6 o'clock they were drinking double martinis down at Westport 1.
Yeah.
Huh? That's true. Now this lady on my right,
Yes.
Patty Jennings, has not spent any time with my wife tonight. Is that right, Patty?
Correct.
But these two ladies have something in common. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What's tonight? Could you tell me what tonight is, Patty?
My birthday.
What's tonight, Patty?
My birthday on
Hey, now wait a minute. We thought, because there were two ladies, both named Patty, that we'd get them a patty cake. But we thought that there could be some other people here tonight who are having birthdays on the 16th, so we decided to get a generic birthday cake. This is birthday cake. Can we all say happy birthday to Patty Jennings and Patty French, please? Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patty. Happy birthday to you. You're welcome. There's one other thing I'd like to tell you. We have a videotape of tonight's proceedings, which is available through Ron Fugate Productions. Ralph Edwards, This Is Your Life, for $55. Anybody who wants to buy a copy can buy a copy tonight only. Next week we go up to $65. There's one more thing I want you to know is that we do this every Saturday night. So be here or be square. We have music playing tonight, a lot of 50s music, a lot of beer, a lot of wine, a lot of vodka, and some food over in the corner. So enjoy yourselves. I want to thank everybody for coming here and for keeping it a secret because it was real tough with the jewels, let me tell you. And I think there ought to be a special tribute to everybody in the entire audience for keeping it such a secret, and I think the missus has something she wants to say too.
Thank you, everybody from out of town and here in Kansas City. Thank you so much. It is just overwhelming. This should all happen to you.
Heaven forbid. And I have to admit, that I am, she took me out of the cradle, folks. And my time's coming. Anything else?
I can't say no more.
I think we've said it all. Good night and have a good time. Well, are you surprised? Yeah. That was lunch, especially